Hi friends, I am Jyotiranjan. I am a professional big data developer having 8 plus years of experience. Since last 5 years, I have been working on solving real world problems with various big data technologies. In this tutorial, we will learn Kafka step by step with suitable demos. Please stay tuned. Let's start with what are the challenges in messaging system and how does Kafka solve this problem? You must be hearing Kafka these days a lot. It has been common messaging system for many companies. It started with LinkedIn in 2011 and later adopted by many companies like Twitter, Uber, Airbnb, PayPal, Spotify, Netflix, just to name a few. It allows you to store large amount of data redundantly, acts as a message bus with high throughput, that is in millions per second, and helps in real-time stream processing data that goes through it. Isn't it interesting? We know transferring data means messaging. Now let's understand the problems or challenges in this messaging world and how Kafka solves these problems. Let's forget Kafka for now and understand what's the problem people are facing before Kafka coming into picture. Messaging happens between publisher and subscriber via a broker. Let's discuss first point, limited scalability of broker which becomes bottleneck. There can be limited scalability due to broker which becomes the bottleneck. In pre-Kafka era, broker was hosted on a single server, which means local storage system was being used for all the data on a machine only. If subscriber is slow, then data will get accumulated in broker machine for a long time. As a result, broker may go down, breaking the message continuity. Let's discuss about second point, that is no scope for reprocessing the data. It is possible that subscriber application has some bug which processed the data wrong way and you want to reprocess the data after fixing the bug. But you cannot do that as subscriber already consumed the data from message queues in broker. As you know, in message queue, once the data is consumed, it gets popped or removed. One way to solve this problem is the subscriber has to start the consumed raw data and use that data for consumption after fixing the bug. But that leads to configuration change for subscriber. The whole thing becomes another task. Let's discuss about next point, that is maintaining data consistency. Different publishers may have different logic to write a broker. There can be many layers between publisher and broker as well. For example, let's say in a billing system, account data is provided by two sources. One source provides initial details and another source provides updated details. But one source was able to push the initial data to broker and another had some issue while sending the data. As a result, updated account details couldn't reach to broker and subscriber consumed the data with initial data only. This is a problem. And there are many more problems with pre-Kafka era messaging system or enterprise messaging system. Now let's discuss about how Kafka solved these problems. To understand that, we need to know what is Kafka. Kafka is a distributed, horizontally scalable, fault-tolerant streaming platform which lets publish subscribe to stream of records with retention of messages and process streams as they occur. Let's understand each word one by one. Distributed system. This means multiple running servers or machines works together in a cluster to appear as a single machine to end user. The advantages of this is high availability and fault tolerant. This means if one machine or node goes down in a cluster, it will still work as if nothing happened, making the end user happy always. The next term we will discuss is horizontally scalable. Let's understand vertical scalability first. You have a laptop. There is nothing, this is nothing but a machine. To increase the computing speed, you can add more RAM or you can upgrade your laptop hardware. But you can do this up to a certain limit till your laptop supports. This is called vertical scalability. Also, this requires downtime. You won't be able to use your laptop during this upgradation. Now think about big organizations. They will also face similar problem which they may not be able to afford. Horizontal scalability solves this problem by throwing more machines altogether. Adding a new machine will not have downtime. Also, there is no limit of adding such new machines. All these machines will work together in a cluster and the performance will be increased exponentially. This is called horizontal scalability. Now let's discuss about next term, that is fault tolerant. Non-distributed system has a single point of failure. If your database server is failed, then you are screwed. But in distributed system, the nodes are designed in such a way that even if one node fails, the cluster still works fine, making the whole system fault tolerant. The next thing we will discuss about retention of messages, that is in replicated way. In Kafka, the message gets stored inside broker for a certain retention time. Messages are stored in commit log, also known as write ahead log or transaction log, which is an ordered data structure and supports only append from left to right. This helps in sequential reads by consumer, providing ordering of messages. Ordering of messages? Oh, not completely though. We will learn about it later. These reads and writes are independent of each other. That means writing does not lock the log. The same is with reading as well. In Kafka world, publisher becomes producer and subscriber becomes consumer. In the next session, we will learn about Kafka architecture. Now let's discuss about Kafka architecture. As we discussed in the last session, Kafka is basically a messaging system at the core. It works as publisher subscriber model, that is PubSub model. Publisher or producer is an application which generates event at one end of data pipeline. Subscriber or consumer is an application which consumes the events at the other end of the data pipeline. In between these two components, there is server or machines or nodes which stores the data and keep it ready for consumption. In Kafka, we call it broker. Now there can be multiple broker acts together in a Kafka cluster. So let's discuss more about this Kafka cluster. Kafka cluster may consist of one or more brokers. We can say cluster size equal to number of brokers present in the cluster. In the diagram we can see there are 4 brokers present. Hence the size of the cluster is 4. Now these brokers may present in same machine or in different machines. In the diagram, broker 1 and broker 2 are present in different machines having their own CPU or RAM, whereas broker 3 and broker 4 present in the same machine sharing same resources. These brokers in the cluster are differentiated based on the ID, which is nothing but a unique number. We can see in the diagram there is a topic which spread across 2 brokers, that is broker 1 and broker 2. The topic stores the data for a default period of time called retention time. By default it is 7 days in production. That is, if you set it to -1, the data will be stored in Kafka topic forever. A topic can have 0, 1 or many consumers that subscribe to the data returned to it. These topics can contain one or multiple partitions. You can define number of partitions while creating a topic. Even you can alter number of partitions in a topic later. In the diagram you can see there are 2 partitions in topic 1, but each partition resides in a broker as a whole. That means a partition is not spread across the brokers where the brokers are present in different machines. This saves network input output. Let's discuss more about this anatomy of a topic. These partitions inside a topic. It increases parallel processing. It is one of the best practices to define number of consumers as per the number of partitions, so that one consumer will consume the data from one partition. We will come to this design later. Number of consumers equal to number of partitions. Each partition is an ordered, immutable sequence of records that is continuously appended to a structured commit log. The records in the partitions are each assigned a sequential ID number called the offset that uniquely identifies each record within the partition. The messages present inside a partition are ordered, but this ordering is not guaranteed across partitions. So if a topic has one partition, then the ordering of messages is maintained. Now let's understand how distributed processing is handled in Kafka. Distributed processing. Distributed processing becomes possible because of Kafka cluster. Kafka uses Apache Zookeeper to maintain the list of brokers present inside a cluster. When a broker starts, it registers itself with its ID in Zookeeper by creating an ephemeral node. Different Kafka components subscribe to the slash brokers slash ID path in a Zookeeper where brokers are registered so that they get notified when brokers are added or removed. So there is a unique ID corresponding to an ephemeral node. As a result, if you start a broker with same ID, then you will get an error. Now let's discuss about the controller. The controller is one of the brokers which is responsible for electing partition leaders. We will discuss about partition leaders after some time. The first broker that starts in the cluster becomes the controller by creating an ephemeral node in Zookeeper called controller slash controller. When the other broker starts and tries to create a controller, they get error saying cluster has already a controller. These brokers then create a Zookeeper watch on the controller node so that they get notified of changes to this node. As a result, when a controller broker stopped or loses connectivity to Zookeeper, other brokers get notified and tries to create controller node in Zookeeper. The first broker to create the controller becomes the new controller of the cluster. Now let's understand the replication. Replication is at the heart of Kafka's architecture. It guarantees availability and durability when a broker stopped or failed. As we discussed earlier, data in Kafka is organized by topics. Each topic is partitioned. Each partition can have multiple replica. While creating a topic, one can provide the replication factor for each partition present in the topic. Those replicas are stored on brokers, and each broker typically stores hundreds of replicas belonging to different topics and partitions. There are two types of replicas, leader replica and follower replica. Leader replica. Each partition has a single replica designated as leader. All produce and consume request goes through the leader in order to guarantee consistency. Follower replica. All replicas for a partition that are not leaders are called followers. Their only job is to copy messages from the leader. They don't serve client requests. In the diagram we can see topic 1 has 4 partitions, part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4. Each partition has 3 replications present in different brokers for high availability. Topic 1 part 1 has leader replica in broker 1 and follower replicas reside in broker 2 and broker 3. Similarly, topic 1 part 2 has leader replica in broker 2 and follower replicas are present in broker 3 and broker 4. Similarly, we can see topic 1 part 3 is a follower replica, but its leader replica is present in topic 1 part 3 and another follower replica is present in broker 4. So leader replica is present in broker 3 and followers replica are present in broker 1 and broker 4. Similarly, for part 4 The leader replica is present in broker 4 and follower replica is present in broker 1 and 2. Replication factor 3 means there are total number of copies of same partition. In the diagram shown, the replication factor is 3. The replica status is maintained in the zookeeper path slash brokers slash topic, then topic name, partitions, partition ID, then state. Another task of leader is knowing which of the follower replicas are up to date. The replicas which are in sync called in sync replicas or ISR. Only in sync replicas are eligible to be elected as partition leader in case of existing leader fails. Let's know more what happens when a broker fails. When a broker left the cluster, the controller notices by watching the relevant zookeeper path. Now that the broker may contain some partitions which are leader replica and some partitions which are follower replica. The controller now goes over all the partitions that need a new leader. At the time, it checks in-sync replicas for these leader replicas and make one of them as leader replica. Now the chosen leader knows that it needs to serve client request while the followers know that they need to start replicating messages from the new leader. Similarly, when a broker joins the cluster, the controller notices and uses broker ID to check if there are replicas that exist on this broker. If there are any, the controller notifies both new and existing brokers of the change, and replicas on the new broker start replicating messages from the existing leader. Hello friends. So now we will see how to install Kafka, and we will do some configurations and make the Kafka up. And we will see producer and consumer also in this session. So let's start. So you can download the Kafka from this location here. So this is the latest version, Kafka 2.3.1 till now, and you can install either this distribution or this distribution depending upon the Scala version you have. So here 2.1 is the 1.1 is the Scala version. For this Scala version, this is the Kafka version you should use, and if you have the Scala version 2.12, then you can use this version. Now in my system I have Scala version as 2.11.8, so I will install 2.11. You can also install Scala, just Scala. I am using Ubuntu, so here is a basic yeah, so you can check this one. This is the Scala, and you can download and install the Scala version you want. So it comes in two forms, like if you are using IntelliJ, that we will use in next session. So there you can use this one, or you can install SBT. SBT is Scala's build tool. So you can download and install SBT so that you will have Scala installed in your machine. Okay, so now for this one, Java, obviously Scala is based on JVM, so Java has to be installed. So 1.8 is recommended. So I have Scala version 2.11. So I will install this. I will download this file and install. I have already downloaded this file and kept it here. So I have kept it here, you can see, and I have extracted to this directory. Okay, so you will download this one, this file, or this file as per your Scala version in your machine. Then you can extract it using this command in Ubuntu tar-xpf extracted and .tzz file. Then you can create a directory, home directory, create a directory for Kafka and another directory for Zookeeper. I will tell like why we're creating this one. So if you see, so I have created these two directories, data-zk and data-kafka, using these two commands. Then what you need to do is that you need to set this Kafka. Let's see. Okay. So you can go to this config directory and need to change all this. So let's go into the extracted directory. So this is the extracted directory, and let's go into the config first. In config you have the zookeeper.properties. So let's open that zookeeper.properties, and here you can see I have changed this data dir, pointed the data dir to this data-zk directory, because whatever the metadata information that Zookeeper stores, in a temp directory by default. The problem with that when you restart your machine, the temp directory will be deleted, so all your earlier data will be reset, all earlier data will be deleted. To preserve your data, so what I have done is that I have created this data-zk directory, and the path to that data-zk directory I have set it here. Now this is the client port is 2181, that is by default, so no need to change this one. Now next we will see the server.properties file. Here also there are few important configurations that I need to check. Let me go to the top. Okay, so here first thing is that broker.id. As we discussed in the last session, so we can have multiple brokers in same machine, or we can have different broker in different machines also. So now here I have this laptop, and this is a machine. I can create multiple brokers, but for the time being, for the simplicity, what I'm doing, I'm just having one broker in the one machine. So broker.id, that is a unique number that you need to maintain, that is 0. I have put. Then by default it is plain text, localhost 9092. Let's see the server. The important configurations I'm just discussing here. Log dirs. This log dirs is like by default it is also a temp directory path. When you restart your broker, when you restart your machine, that data will be deleted. So I have set it the log.dirs path to the data Kafka directory that I have created just now. So that my data in the broker, inside the broker, will be preserved after restart also. Now the default number of partitions is 1. If you have not gone through the previous sessions, so please just check. I have discussed there the partitions, number of partitions, leader replica and follower replica, all those. So number.partitions is 1 here. That by default, that is one partition inside that topic, inside a topic. So whatever the topic you will create, by default it will have one partition. You can change the number of partitions while creating the topic as well. So now the replication factor is 1. You can change it to 3 also. Then retention policy 168 hours, that comes around 7 days. Then Zookeeper. So in the Kafka broker, you are giving the configurations for Zookeeper Connect, that is localhost 2181. in zookeeper.properties we have set the port number as 2181. So this broker will connect to the zookeeper running on 2181 port. Okay, so these are some important configurations that I have discussed. So just save it. Now let me check. So now you can, okay, now you need to set this Kafka home directory for the easy of use. So what I have done is that if you go to your home directory and just click bash, open the bash rc file, and if I go to at the end, so I have set here Kafka home to my the extracted directory path, and also I put it in the path, so that if I will do now echo $Kafka home, it will show me the installation directory. So now let's go to that installation directory. Okay, so now let's see. Now we can start the zookeeper and we'll see some actions, and then closing this one, not needed. Okay, so if we'll see, let's start the zookeeper first. To start the zookeeper, just go to your Kafka home directory and run this command. So this one, so it will start the zookeeper. Okay, so you can see the binding to port 00.0.0.0.02181, that is localhost 2181 port. Now open another terminal. So we have opened the terminal. Now let me go to Kafka home, that is my installation directory, and then let's start the broker. So you can see I'm using this server.properties that has changed. So we'll start the broker. So, okay, so when you start the broker, the previous whatever the topics, it will reload and everything. The offset it will set, and all this. So now we can create a topic. We are creating a topic called words here, which has by default partitions, number of partitions is 1, replication factor is 1. We can change later. So let's create a topic. So we are creating a topic called words. Okay, so you can list all the topics present here, like using this command. So the topic words is listed here. Words by this consumer offset is the default topic. So all the informations, all the metadata information about the consumer's offsets are stored here. Like which consumer has read up to which offset, that is maintained in that consumer offsets topic. That's the default inbuilt topic that you should not delete. Now you can check or you can describe that topic. You can check the number of partitions and replication factor present inside the topic. So using this command, you can use this command. So you can see the topic is word, partition count, there is one partition we created. Here we are using partitions 1. So the partition count is 1. Replication factor is also 1. And you can see that if partition count is 1, so there it shows the only partition number is 0. So 0 partition number 0, that is only one partition is present. That is the leader replica, and that is also follow replica. That is only one partition, right? So there is no replicas, only one replica. So replicas where is present in 0 partition only, and this is in sync replica. So here there is no, because we have only one replication and one partition, so that leader replica, follower replica, everything is same, and everything is in sync replica ISR. Then we can start a producer. Let's produce some, publish some data to that topic. So you can see topic words. So let's start something like, for example, hello world. I am from India. So now we'll start one consumer and we'll consume this data. So let's open a consumer. Okay, let's start a consumer. Topic name is wars. From beginning we'll start. So you can see hello world, I am from India is printed in the console. So this is what this is a consumer which is running, and it is printing this whatever we are publishing here. Let's publish something like hello, I am from India and I am a developer. So if you see in the consumer console, you can see the I am a developer is printed. This is the broker and this is the server console. Now I want to show you that, okay, let it run, and I will show you like inside that data slash Kafka directory and data zookeeper, what is stored there actually, where Zookeeper stores its data, where Kafka stores its data, and how it stores. So let's check that. So data hyphen. So these two directory we created. So let's go into Zookeeper first. So if you see, there is log version 2 and log 92. So you can go inside that version 2 and log, and if you see log 92 is created latest. So we will check what a log.92. Let's check some like this. So you can see all these data are like encrypted form, but you can read something out, but it's not readable format. You can see at least version 1, broker ID 0. And similarly, if you go to data hyphen Kafka, we clear it. So you can see there are multiple consumer offsets, because this is the topic, inbuilt Kafka topic, where Kafka stores its metadata information, and for each topic there will be one directory. You can see wars 0, that is, you can see this is the topic name and the partition, topic hyphen partition. So let's go into that wars hyphen 0, and inside that there is index directory, time index, checkpoint, and log directory. Let's open this log directory. So you can see this data is also encrypted, but you can read the data hello world, I am from India and I am a developer to that. So yeah, so this is where actually Kafka stores its data. And console subscriber. So to close this one, so first let's close the consumer. So you can see the total three messages, then producer, then you can close the broker. So you can see shutdown completed, and then you can close the Zookeeper. You can check also anything is running in 2181 port or not. Nothing is running, so Zookeeper is closed. Thank you. Hello friends. In the last session, we have seen topics with single partition. In this session, let's create a topic with multiple partitions. So here let's first start the Zookeeper. Zookeeper has been started in port 2181. Then let's start the broker. So now broker has been started. Now let's create a topic with multiple partitions. So we are creating a topic. You can see words 2, we are creating a topic with partitions 3, but replication factor is 1. Till now we have only set up one broker, so you cannot make replication factor more than 1. But in one broker we can have multiple partitions. That's what I am trying to show you now. So here the partition number are 3. There will be a topic created called words 2 having 3 partitions. Let's create the topic. Okay, our topic words 2 is created. Now let's check the words 2 topic how it is created properly or not. Okay, so you can see there are 3 partitions. Partition count is 3 and there are 3 partitions 0, 1, 2. Partition 0, 1, 2, but the leader is 0 because there is only one broker, and there are there is no, because there is no replication factor is 1, so there is only one replica. So now the structure is there is only one broker. Inside that broker there is a topic called words 2. Inside that topic there are 3 partitions 0, 1, 2 without any replication, any leader replica or follower replica. So the copy which is present inside the topic that is actually in sync, and we can say ISR is that only. Now what we will try to understand is that we can create multiple brokers inside single machine, so that we can play with this replication factor. That replication, if there is more replication factor, the availability of the data will be higher. This partition count, number of partition, if you increase the number of partitions, then your number of parallelism increases. There are 3 partitions here. There can be 3 consumers reading from that topic. So each consumer will be assigned to a partition. But replication factor is for availability. So here it is only one broker running in this machine. So replication factor is 1. So what we will do now, we will create multiple broker inside this single node machine, and we will increase the replication factor. Let's start. So multiple brokers in a single machine. As there is only one broker, we cannot increase the replication factor. Let's create multiple brokers. So what we will do now, I will this here is my topic created. Okay, that's fine. So I'm just closing this broker because this is single node broker. I will start from scratch. So let's start. So you can see there are data zk. These two directory we created. Let's remove those directories. We'll start from scratch. Multiple broker in single node cluster. As this is a directory, we can type in zk and let's data hyphen kafka. So now the data present inside these two directories are deleted. we don't have any data for topic that we created earlier, like wards and wards two, like all this. We don't have that data now. We will start from scratch. So we will create these directories. And also we create one directory for data for Zookeeper, that is data zk. So we created. Okay, now we can see ls append alert. Let's say ls grep data star. Okay, so these four directory created, three directory for Kafka broker and one directory for data zk Zookeeper. So now let's create three server.properties inside the Kafka installation folder. Let's go to the Kafka installation folder, that is Kafka home. And if you see, there is by default there is one server.properties, but I have created uh, okay. So let's see. So what I have done is that I have copied the default server.properties and created one server1.property. Then from that server1, server2, and server3. So three properties file I created for three brokers. So we'll see like what are the changes that I have done. So if I open the server1.properties, which is for broker one, so I can see there is a broker ID that you need to change. So previously it was 0. I changed it to 1 because it is broker 1. Then port is 9092. So this broker is assigned to the port number 9092. And the next thing is that log.dir. I have mapped this broker data to data Kafka 1 that I created recently. Similarly, if I open the server2.properties, so here the log.dir is pointed to Kafka 2, and broker ID is 2 and port is 9093. Now let's check similarly for server 3. That is also log.dir is Kafka 3. You can see here Kafka 3, and broker ID is also 3, and port number is 9094. So all these are unique. Broker ID has to be unique. So we can start a broker. And for a particular with a particular broker ID. So now let's start the Zookeeper first. So let's clear CTP. Okay, so let's start the Zookeeper. Zookeeper configuration, we did not change anything. It is localhost 2181 only, but we deleted the data. We started from scratch, so that's why the Zookeeper server start. And now I'm starting the Zookeeper. So Zookeeper is started by normally like 2181 port. Now let's start the broker one. So for the broker one, so we will create this new terminal. In the new terminal, we need to give a JMX port number 9999. So a particular port number we are giving, JMX port we are giving for this broker. So if I run this one, I'm using server1.properties. We're starting broker one. Okay, so you can see broker Kafka server ID 1 started. If I will see like what is running in port number 9092, you can see there is a service broker for the broker 1. You can see 9092. Now if I will see ls I JMX port, that is 99949. Okay, I can see the same process ID 9974 is running. So this for the JM export, it's listening on 99, that's 49, and but this broker is running on 9092. Similarly, let's start broker 2 in another terminal. So this is broker 2. I'm using 10,000 as port for JM export as JM export, and this Kafka server ID 2 is started. Now let's start Kafka broker 3. Okay, so Kafka server ID 3 is also started. So you can, now the structure is like this. This Kafka and JMX. Kafka is running on 9092, 9093 for broker 2, and 9094 for broker 3. JMX is for broker 1 is 4 nines, then 10,000 for broker 2 and 10,001 for broker 3. Now let's create. Now we have three brokers in a single node machine. Now let's create a topic with replication factor 3, as that's the maximum replication we can have in three brokers. So let's create the topic. So we are using replication factor 3 and number of partitions also 3. So there will be three brokers, and in each broker there will be topics. In each topic there will be three partitions, and these three partitions will be distributed among these three brokers. So create a topic. Now if I will to describe, you can see this implementation. So you can see the partition count is 3. That is fine because we already see in our last exercise. Partition count 3, that means there will be 3 partitions, 0, 1, 2. There are 3 partitions. The replication factor is 3. So each partition is replicated thrice. So it's a replicated. So what are these replicas? These replicas are present in 3, 1, 2. These replicas, and for these 3, 1, 2 replica, the leader replica is 3. You can see leader replica is 3. For partition 1, leader replica is 1, and for partition 2, leader replica is 2. So all these replicas 2, 3, 1, and everything is in sync. So you can see here, like 3 replication factor is 3. There are 3 brokers which are running. That's why there are 3 kinds of leader, 1, 2, 3. But in previous exercise we see that leader is all 0 because there was only one broker was running. Now let's produce some data to that topic. So we are producing. So in here you can give like broker list, all brokers in comma separated, 9092, localhost 9093, localhost 9094. This is the topic. Let's produce something. Hello world, I am from India. Now let's start a consumer for another terminal, and you can start a consumer. In consumer also you can give the bootstrap server, comma separated bootstrap server, 90 localhost 9092, localhost 9093, localhost 9094. Topic is what through from beginning it will listen, it will consume. So let's see. Yes. So the consumer consumed the data from producer from the Kafka broker. So you can see I am from India and hello world is getting printed without any sequence maintained. Okay. Here the sequence is not maintained because there are multiple partitions inside a topic, and the order is maintained only inside a partition, not across the partitions that we learned from previous sessions. Now let's like I am a developer. If I paint in real time, I'm a developer. You can see the consumer also has I'm a developer. Uh, so you can see the input from producer in consumer now completed setup for multiple Kafka broker in a single node machine. And also you can see here all these 9093 for 9093 also. See so many ports are open, 9093 and 9094. Okay, all are listening. Okay, so this much from my end. We just saw the number of multiple, we just saw set up multiple brokers in a single node machine. Thank you very much. Hello friends. So now we will discuss about producers. Producers produces data to a specific topic. Also, they can choose the partition to which they will publish the data. Producer does this using partitioner, which uses either round robin fashion to balance the load or using a hash function. The partitioner ensures same non-empty key will be sent to same partition. If there is no key or key is null, the partition is selected as per round robin fashion by default. As we discussed in last session, all producer request goes through leader replica. Depending upon producer configuration, the throughput, latency, and durability of message delivery is decided. The number of acknowledgements the producer requires the leader to have received before considering a request complete is considered as axe level. So you can see in this table there is the different axe level 0, 1 and -1. Now 0, what does 0 mean? 0 means no acknowledgements. That means when producer publishes the data to Kafka broker, the leader replica receives the data and but it will not send any acknowledgements to the Kafka publisher. uh, this way there will be high throughput and it will very less time to publish the messages to the Kafka broker, but durability is not guaranteed. Whether the message is got delivered or not, Kafka publisher doesn't have any information about that. The next axe level is 1, which is a default axe level. That means here only leader sends acknowledgement. So when this Kafka publisher publishes to the Kafka broker, then the leader replica sends acknowledgement that okay, I have received the message. Throughput will be medium, latency also will be medium, and durability is leader specific. That means if anyhow the message the node gets down or shut down, the leader replica, if the leader replica has the information, then that message can be recovered. If the leader broker is itself gets down, then you will not be able to get the message, or you will what the zookeeper will check, okay, where is this message is present in follower replica, and from the follower replica or in sync replicas it will find out one leader. But if the message is not in sync to other follower, then you may lose the messages. Then the next level of acknowledgement is -1. That is for full ISR. That means when Kafka publisher publishes the message to the Kafka broker, then when the leader replica gets the message and the follower replica copied these messages. All these copy the follower replica sends acknowledgement to the leader that they have got the message. Then leader will send the acknowledgement to the Kafka publisher. Okay, everybody got the message. That is full ISR, in sync replica. That is manual. That means in this case throughput can be less because Kafka publisher needs has to wait to get the confirmation that my message is completely published. Latency will be high, it will take much time, and durability is very good actually, because this guarantees that uh, you will not lose the message. Now let's go into demo. We'll see a simple producer publishing messages to the Kafka broker. So in the last session we have seen like how we can configure multiple broker inside a single node. So we will use that example. Like we have three brokers here: server 1, server 2, server 3, and we have the zookeeper, and we will create a topic called wars, and then we'll see like how we will publish some data, and we'll run on console consumer, which will check the data is published to the Kafka broker or not. Okay, so let's go into the coding part. Okay, so you can see I've created a small project here, and it has this Kafka. I have created a simple producer. Okay, if you see this simple producer, before going to simple producer, let's check what else you need actually while creating a project. This is a Maven project, so we have a form here, and you need dependency as Kafka clients. Kafka clients contains Kafka producer APIs and the Kafka consumer APIs. So this is the latest version 2.4.0 so far, and you need for logging purposes, so you need SLA4j. This Kafka clients contains the SLA4j. You can see there is SLA4j is already there, SLA4j API 1728. So we don't need SLA4j API, but we can have SLA4j log4j, that binder, so that we can log something in our console. This is a plugin which will compile the code in 1.java 1.8. So you need Java in the class path. Yeah, so this much, and then you can write one simple Kafka producer here. So here what I have done is that you can see I have used minimal configuration to keep the code simple. So we'll let's go to the main method. So here the topic name is wars. So we'll create a topic called wars. So this is the logo. Then we are trying to do is that we will create one Kafka producer. You can see here this is static Kafka producer, create producer. So when it will call create producer, it will create a producer using these properties. In this property, the brokers, you need to provide the brokers. My brokers are running a 9092 port, 9093 and 9094. So I have given in comma separated. Then it's written here bootstrap servers is brokers. Then key serializer and value serializer. Here the key serializer means producer has the option to serialize the data. So we are serializing using string serializer, and we are the value also we are serializing using string serializer. There is no default value of this key serializer value, so you have to mention like which serializer you want to use for key and value, and that's it. You need this minimal thing to create a producer. Now using that producer you need to send the messages. In Kafka, this message is a type producer record. So you can see I have defining your producer record. This is my producer record. Key is string type, value is string type. So I'm creating a new producer record. I'm giving a topic name, and it has constructor overloaded constructors. So one of the constructors is that you can just pass the topic name and the value. So then another is topic, and you can pass the key, then value. like that. So here we don't need any key, so we are just passing the value here. Now this our record is created and Kafka producer is sending this record. And here I am just giving have a thread slip of 5 seconds because it will continuously publish the record till we send an interrupt signal. Uh, so the system get hanged because it's continuously publish the record. That's why I've just put one 5 second thread sleep, so that in every 5 seconds this Kafka publisher will send a message in every 5 seconds. And you need log4j properties to bind the logger. And let's go to the console. In the console, uh, I have already started the Zookeeper. In the last session, I have already shown you like how to start a Zookeeper. The commands are here. To start a Zookeeper, this is the command. Then I started the broker1. I already shown you last session. This is the broker1 command. Then broker2, then broker3. Now here we will create topics till broker3, and now we will create a topic. Let's create a topic called wars. Just putting the command. Okay. So we are creating a topic called wars, having replication factor 3, partitions number is 3. Let's create. Okay. And also you can see, okay, we can list the, let's list the broker, or list the topics. So you don't need this one. So let's list all the topics present. So you can see our, okay, so words is there, and previously we created words 3. Okay, so this words is there. Now let's start the consumer also, so that when we'll start a producer, we can see the records coming. So this consumer will consume, this is a console consumer. Uh, Using Java code, we will learn how to create a consumer letter. But for the time being, we can see you can use this Kafka console consumer. So Kafka console consumer is consuming the data from the topic words, and these are the bootstrap servers 909293, 9092, 1993, 1994. Okay, let's start. So as you can see, there is no data so far in the words topic. Now let's run the program, and we will see the publishing record to that Kafka topic called words. Okay, so in every 5 seconds, you can see here now 7:39, 10, then 15, 20. You can see that it's publishing the message, produce x equal to 1, that is default. Then it is sending words to the partition, which partition they're sending. First 0, then 1. See, now 2. Because we are not provided any key, so it is going by a round robin fashion. You can see here. So 0, 1, 2, like that. So now in every 5 seconds, the messages are being pushed to the Kafka broker. Now let's see the consumer part. See, so in every 5 seconds, Kafka messages are. So you can see the 800, 805, 810. That's why I have put the system current time milliseconds. So system milliseconds it will. So 820, 815. So every 5 seconds the messages are published to this Kafka broker, and this consumer is consuming that data. Okay, and we can stop this one. So this one is, you can see, so these are the commands that you need to run. So now we will discuss about consumers. Consumers belong to a consumer group in Kafka. The consumers in a consumer group cooperates to consume data from same topic. As we discussed earlier, number of partitions equal to number of consumers. Now this rule is a bit modified. The more correct formula is number of partitions equal to number of consumers in a consumer group. Let's discuss this diagram. In the diagram, there are two servers or broker in Kafka cluster, server 1 and server 2, hosting 4 partitions of a topic P0, P3, P1 and P2. 4 partitions are P0, P1, P2 and P3. Okay. Now there are two consumer groups, consumer group A and consumer group B. Consumer group A has two consumers, C1 and C2. Consumer group has 4 consumers, C3, C4, C5, C6. These are consumer instances. For consumer group A, all data of partition P0 and P3 are consumed by C1 consumer instance, and all data of P1 and P2 are consumed by C2 instance. But for consumer B, each partition is mapped to each consumer. This means a partition data cannot be consumed by two different consumer instances belong to same consumer group. I repeat, this means a partition data cannot be consumed by two different consumer instances belong to same consumer group. We will see this in we'll see this now, this example. By the example we will try to know how um, these partitions are distributed among consumers inside a consumer group. So for example, theoretically, if you see this P0 data, whatever the partitions in P0 is coming to C3, but this P0 cannot go to any instances of any instances other than C3. Then if C3 consumed this partition, that means this is always the C3 will consume this P0. This P0 data will not go to C4, C5, C6. Okay. Yeah. So now let's see a demo, and we will come to this example, and we will understand it better. So I have written this a simple consumer example, like we discussed simple producer in last session. This is simple consumer where we are having this bootstrap server 92, 93 and 94, and the topic name is word. Instead of word, let's put for words 2. So in the demo, you can see the first you need to do what you need to do. You need to start Zookeeper. So this is the command. Like after going into installation directory, Kafka installation directory, you need to run this command. Then you need to start brokers. As we discussed in last sessions, 3 brokers you need to start. Then you need to create a Kafka topic. We are creating wars2 here, and then we will start a console producer. We can use the previous session program also, but for the simplicity, because we're concentrating on consumer here, so we will start a console producer. So this is the command, the console producer, and we will analyze the consumer part. So our focus is the consumer part. So for the to analyze the consumer, first I will show you just running this simple consumer using Java, because then I will also show you one console consumer, and we will discuss about this diagram a little bit more practical. Okay. So let's start. What we need to do, we need to start Zookeeper. So coming to terminal, let's start Zookeeper. So this is my Zookeeper instances started. Now let's start the broker. Let's see the Zookeeper is started now at 2181 port. Now let's start the broker 1. So this is broker 1. If I start the broker 1, then it will be controller, right? So it is just loading all the previous data. Okay, so it is started. Now we can start the broker 2. Also I can start the broker 3. Okay, so my environment is ready. Now I'll just do some prerequisites. That is, I need to create a topic. So I have put all the commands that you see here. I just kept it in the notepad. So I will use the notepad commands. So create a topic, wars2. It is not created. Let's create a topic. So you need to go to Kafka installation directory, then you can create a topic. I'm putting replication factor 3 and number of partitions also 3. Wars2. So topic is created. Now let's start a console producer which will produce the data in this topic. So I'm using console producer. My producer is ready. I have not pushed any data. Now what I will do, I will start my simple consumer here. So wars2, it will just read this wars2, and I am giving my consumer group name as consumer group name as here wars consumer. Let's say it's 2. This wars2 we are reading, so let's put it wars2 as a new consumer. Okay, let's start. I will walk through the code. No issues. Okay, let me show you the demo first, then I will walk through the code. Sorry. So okay, I think my consumer is ready. So now let's produce some data, like we do hello world. So you can see, let's wait for some time. Yes, you can see the consumer record. Key is null, hello world. So you can see this is the consumer record, and let's do another. I am an Indian. I am an Indian. So this is the consumer record. Okay, so now let's go through the code. Okay, so this is the key, this is the value, and this is the top. This is the broker, right? So 1, 2, which let me check the code what I have put. Okay, this is the partition. So this is there are three partitions like 0, 1, 2. So this is the partition, and this is the offset. Offset is the sequence of messages, in that partition. So in first partition, 0th index. In second partition, 0 index. Let's just write another data. I am an Indian and I am a developer. Now let's see this is 0 and the offset is 0. So because the key is null here, we are not passing any key. That's why the messages are stored in partition. Uh, while producing the data using Kafka Publisher, as we are not mentioning in the any key, that means key is null or empty null. So the messages are published to the Kafka partition in round robin manner. So first data went to 1, then second data went to 2, second partition 2, and third data went to 0. Now let's run another one. I am a developer. I code in Java. Let's see. It is going to it can go to 0 or 1 to anything. So it went to 1 again. So in round robin fashion, 1, 2, 0, then again 1. Then the offset becomes it was 0 and offset now becomes 1. So now let's put I code, I use Git. So it becomes 2, and similarly you can publish lot many data, and the data would be published to the Kafka broker, and eventually it will go to the partitions, then offsets in round robin manner. Okay, so this is a demo. Now we'll go further. Before going further, let's discuss the code. So the code is very simple. I have kept it simple to understand it. So basically, we will create a consumer. Consumer needs some properties to be set. So now this is the Bootstrap server. Bootstrap server, all the 9092, 9093, and 9094 ports. Okay, so these are all my Bootstrap server. I gave one consumer group name because always a consumer runs inside a consumer group. So this consumer group is very important. We will analyze more in this consumer group concept. Now we need to provide some key deserializer and value deserializer. We understood in the last session that while publishing the data also, we need to provide the key serializer and value serializer. So while consuming the data, we need to provide the key deserializer and value deserializer. As our data is basically a string data, so our key deserializer is also string, and value deserializer also string deserializer. Now you can create a consumer, Kafka consumer, native Kafka consumer using this properties. Now you need to subscribe to a particular topic. So consumer dot subscribe, you can pass the topic name. Also this says that a consumer can subscribe to multiple topics also. So that's why it's a collection. Okay, but now here we have only what's2, so we are consuming data from this topic. Now this is the main method. You can see that we'll first create the consumer in this line. So it will create the consumer and return the consumer instance. Now this consumer, using that consumer instance, I'm just polling consumer.poll. This method actually it will and the input parameter is 5000 milliseconds, like 5 seconds. So it will poll for 5 seconds. Whatever data it received in that 5 seconds, it will pass that data. So this is the meaning of this line. Then whatever we are receiving in this using consumer.poll, I'm just printing it. I'm printing it in 4 segments. Like first one is key, second one is value, and then it is partition. Third one is partition, and fourth one is offset that I explained. Explained now already. Now then after that I'm just sleeping, make it sleep for 5 seconds. because else it will just poll continuously, but it will not able to wait for 5 seconds. So I'm just making it sleep 5 seconds. So this line is actually make the program sleep for 5 seconds, make the thread sleep for 5 seconds. Then again it will poll for 5 seconds. Whatever data it will consume, it will pass, and after that I'm just committing asynchronously. Whatever data the consumer received is just committing to the Kafka broker. Okay, I received this data, and so committing. Okay, so now we understood the code. Now let's understand. Let's start Kafka console consumer, because we need to understand this diagram properly. So just imagine that this is a consumer group A that I am running in IntelliJ. An ID, I am just running one consumer, for example C1. Okay, there is no C2. Let's consider there is no C2. Now I will start one console consumer that belongs to a consumer group B. I will start one console consumer. Let's say C3. There is no C4, C5, C6, and in the consumer group there is no C2. Let's start one Kafka console consumer. So this Kafka console consumer is pointing towards two topic, and so whatever data we publish so far, it will just print now, because I'm just consuming data from beginning. Okay, you can see I'm an Indian, I use Git, I'm a developer, hello world, I code in Java. It's not in sequence because there are three partitions, so the sequence is not maintained across the partitions, right? So while consuming, you don't expect your record should be in order. If you want to implement an order, if your ordering is important for you, then what you can do is that uh, you can keep one partition inside a topic, so that any consumer read the data, it will just read the data in a order, because in a partition ordering is maintained, not across the partitions. Okay, so this is one consumer, and this is also one consumer. Okay, this is also running in the terminal, we can see. Okay, so here this is one consumer. This consumer belongs to a different consumer group. We mentioned earlier, this is our consumer group, what's consumer 2, and the Kafka console consumer is maintaining different consumer group. Now let's see what are the consumer group it is running currently. So this is the command, Kafka consumer groups.sh, then list, then you need to pass the bootstrap server. You can pass the localhost colon 9093 comma localhost colon 9094. Okay, so this is our bootstrap server. It will list all the console consumers. So you can see there are two console consumer, 56134 and 10775. I think previously I ran just tested, so I had this 10775 already. So this one is new one is this console consumer 56134 is the this console consumer belongs to this consumer group. Okay, it will be difficult if you have multiple consumer and need to find out which one is actually your consumer group. It will be difficult. You can describe one command, but I'm not sure it will say that show the details. But yes, from this, at least because I have already run one console consumer and I had it 10775. Now you can see this is a new console consumer, so this must be the group console consumer group for this console consumer. Okay, so what I will do now, I will publish some record here. and because these belong to two different groups as in the diagram, so C1 and C3 both will get the data. Both will get the data because they belong to different consumer group. Okay, so let's see. uh, I use Git, then I work for Vertex. Okay, so this data, this published data, okay, this consumer is getting, and we will see in the console consumer also this ID. Okay, this also got the same data because they belong to different consumer group. Now what I will do, I will make this ID consumer group same as console consumer. Now the expectation is whatever data we will publish, it will go to either console consumer or ID consumer, not both. That's the rule, and that's what we are expecting here. So let's see. Uh, so now first let's change the consumer here. So the consumer console consumer group here is, we know the console consumer 56134, and I'm just stopping this one, and instead of this one I will use, okay, so now these two consumers belong to same consumer group. As a result, the message published to the Kafka broker will go to either of them, not both of them. Okay, that's the design. And this will also solve a problem like what will be the problem if both the consumer in the consumer group process the same data? There will be data inconsistency, right? So to solve that, the rule is, if the consumers are present in the same consumer group, they will not get the same data. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I love, now let's first run this consumer, simple consumer, then I will publish the data. Okay, my consumer is ready. Now I love coding. Okay, I will publish this data. It's published. Now let's see, in the consumer it is there. Okay, in the console consumer it is there. Then this I love coding, this line won't be present in our ID. See, there is no message coming to that ID. Now let's publish some more data like message one. Message one. Let's see. Okay, in console consumer the message one didn't come, then it must be coming to the it must be consumed by the IntelliJ consumer. See, the message one is consumed by the partition is 2 and offset becomes 2. Now let's see, let's publish some more data like message 2, message 3, message 4 and message 5. Let's see, among 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 5 came here. That means 4 will go there. Yes, 4 will go there. So you understood. Now let's coming back to the diagram. In this demo, you must have understood, if the consumer belong to the same consumer group, they won't get the same data. If the consumer belong to different consumer group, then both the consumer will get the data. So in consumer group, our IntelliJ consumer, let's suppose our IntelliJ consumer belongs to consumer group A and our console consumer belongs to consumer group B, then the same whatever the data published to the Kafka broker, both the consumer will get the data. But if the IntelliJ consumer belongs to this consumer group B also, means both the consumers belong to the same consumer group, then the whatever the data published to the Kafka broker, both the consumer will not be able to get the same data. One data will go to one console consumer, then another data will go to the ID consumer. Okay, so this is what I was trying to explain here using Kafka, simple Kafka consumer. Hope you guys understood it. Thank you.